Chapter 25. Decision.
I watch with satisfaction as the bastard writhes on the floor, clutching at his bleeding head. "You filthy fucker." I sneer down at him, enjoying the fear in his eyes. His screams only fuel my dark pleasure as I turn away, leaving him to suffer. My face is splattered with drops of blood from this despicable man I just smashed into a bloody pulp. Izuna's groggy voice crackled through the phone.
"Is everything okay?"
But before he could get an answer, I continued. "Hurry up! Move it here to me!" I urged. "I need an ambulance and investigation team on the scene immediately." Confusion and concern flooded through Izuna's voice as he replied.
"What's happening?"
His heart raced with worry and he jolted awake from his sleep.
I couldn't help but wonder what kind of mess Madara had gotten himself into this time.
"Freeze right there, you son of a bitch!" and fired a warning shot near his foot. Her touch is gentle, yet I know she can feel my tense hands aching from the recent fight. Her voice laced with concern.
Madara, your fists, they're hurt.
But I brush off her worry with a smile. "It's nothing compared to what you've been through." Despite my words, I can see the worry etched on her face. "You'll get blood all over yourself," I warn, as she reaches out to touch me. "Don't touch me," I plead, not wanting her to see the mess I've become. The metallic smell of iron fills the air, and I know I must look like a mess, but Haruko's presence brings a sense of comfort and warmth amidst the chaos. Regardless of my warnings, Haruko continues to hold on to me tightly, offering support without saying a word. Tears streamed down her flushed cheeks.
You saved me.
Each word was punctuated by a fresh wave of sobs. The tension in my body slowly released as I absorbed her comforting embrace. It felt like everything had come to an end. The fear, the conflict, the uncertainty. We were just two people, connected by a shared experience and bound. Haruko. I turned to face her, my heart pounding in my chest. I can see the worry etched on her face as she reaches out to touch my cheek, smearing blood across it. "I don't want you to get hurt." My hand instinctively brushes away a strand of her hair as I look into her stunning green eyes, filled with concern for me. At that moment, I am lost in her beauty and realize how much she means to me. She is my everything, and I will do whatever it takes to keep her safe. I began to speak, but before I could finish my thought, the door flung open and interrupted me. What I was about to say was true. I loved her. Izuna's voice echoed through the room as he exclaimed in surprise.
"Oh God, Madara?"
The room was suddenly filled with a team of medics and police, and Izuna's fiancé was among them. Haruko had finally met my brother, and I never imagined it would happen under such unpleasant circumstances. But that's just how things turned out. I let out a sigh as I introduced them to each other, Izuna and Haruko. It was not the most pleasant first meeting, and Izuna seemed taken aback by the whole situation.
"Oh my God, it's nice to meet you, Haruko. I am sorry that you have been victimized. Please follow me. We need to gather all the evidence to help your case."
As he glanced over at Haruko.
"Your girlfriend is undeniably cute."
But his attention quickly turned to the scene in front of us.
His gaze cold and unforgiving as he spoke. His eyes were deep pools of anger and resentment, seething with a fury that seemed to consume him.
He deserved what he got.
It was clear that my words fell on deaf ears as he continued to defend his actions with unwavering conviction. He believed he had done what the other person deserved, and there was no remorse in his stance. The air around us grew tense as the two of us stood in stark contrast. Me, a calm officer of the law, and him, a seething force ready to strike again. I'll tell them he slipped on the ice and broke his face. Simple enough, right? My confidence was almost unnerving. But inside, I knew it wouldn't be that easy.
"Smooth, Izuna. Is it really appropriate to joke right now?"
I scratched my head nervously, realizing the gravity of the situation. "You're right, sorry." I shook my head in disbelief. "And to top it off, we have that trip to Tokyo coming up soon, and our chief Obito will surely punish you for this."
"I'll handle him myself,"
Madara replied confidently.
You did nothing to deserve this. Haruko's fingers trembled as she nervously played with the hem of her shirt, but the words of the officer gave her a sense of comfort. The insidious culture of victim blaming must be eradicated. As the night of horror came to an end, the clock chimed at 3 a.m. The ambulance raced through the streets, sirens blaring as it carried the convicted rapist to the hospital. Inside, doctors and nurses were shocked by the extent of his injuries. Exhausted and shaken, they made their way back home. The collection of evidence was complete, and Haruko knew she would have to go to the police tomorrow.
Like a curtain. Her arms were wrapped tightly around my waist, her body trembling against me. A look of pain and regret etched across her face as she whispered,
Sorry.
closing her eyes and clinging to me even tighter. I could feel the weight of her guilt and sadness in every word.
I should have listened to you, Madara. You were right.
She added, her grip on me tightening even more, slightly, tasting the faint traces of salty tears. She buried herself in the crook of my neck, seeking comfort and solace, loosening. I could feel the weight of what he had done hanging heavy between us. A raging inferno of regrets and violent thoughts consumed my mind. Her chest is covered in a mosaic of ugly purple bruises. I can't bear to imagine where and how that vile animal touched her. Leaving behind these physical scars as well as emotional ones, my insides seethed with uncontrollable fury. I knew she didn't realize what she had said, but it still made my heart swell with warmth and affection. Glancing at the clock, I saw that it was 4 a.m. With a contented sigh, I got up from bed and decided to make some coffee while I waited for morning to arrive.